Hi everyone, today we have a new video review, and as you can see, this time we are going to talk about fresh release from Beemax or Pots. So what we have here is the BMW 320i. It's a BTCC winner from 1996, and it might be an interesting version to copy because first of all the car itself is quite famous, and second I think it's one of the few offerings of the E36 in 1/24 scale. And what I have here on the table, that's the final shape of this release, and it means you will be getting exactly the same stuff if you order it from any good model shop. So first of all, the box size is not that huge. Here is comparison with my hand. We also have quite nice box art here, and on the side you can see the pictures of the finished kit, so it looks quite good, to be honest. And on the opposite side you can see also the paint numbers which should be needed for assembly of this model. So let's open it, and here's what we have inside. So as you can see, there is plenty of space but not that many parts, to be honest, and we will be opening this sprues one by one in order to check what is actually supplied here and why this might be an interesting set to build. So in the first plastic bag straight away we get 3 plastic sprues. So I will show you the first one. Obviously the plastic is marked as Nunu because it comes from this brand, so do not be surprised. But here you can see the steering wheel, also side view mirrors. Here we have the shifter. I wonder why we have the automatic gear lever. So if you know, feel free to write in the comment section, or it's not the gear lever. I'm just checking what it can be, and I'm not sure, but these parts probably will be used for the side view mirror, and here you can check them from the opposite side. This is strange that we have the civil steering wheel. Maybe there will be the sport one, because I would be surprised if such version was actually used in the racing car. And here we continue with another part. So this is various electronics which should be installed inside the car, and as you can see it is molded as a single block. Next we continue with this is the rear wing and the stand. So as you can see, it is pre-shaped already. You don't have to join any separate parts together, and this is quite a smart design, and we have only 2 attachment points, so it's quite easy to separate it without damaging the part. Just take your time and try not to hurry with it. Next we continue with the front bumper. So again, a single piece part, and it's quite straightforward, I think, in terms of the design. And well, I think for the car kit it's not unusual to have the bumper molded separately, so that's why it's not something special here either. And next I've opened another plastic bag. So here we have the clear plastic sprue, and if I will zoom out, as you can see here we have the lenses for the headlamps and tail lights. We also have the front and rear and side glasses united as the single part. So for some modelers it's actually a preferable feature, some modelers prefer them molded separately, so it's a matter of your own personal preference, but here you get only this part. So even though you prefer something different, you will have to work with this. And next I'm opening another plastic bag. And here we have 2 white plastic sprues, so I will show them in a second. Just give me a moment. So white plastic is always tricky to show on the camera because it's too bright, and here you can see it. Maybe it's worth closing the lenses a bit more. And well, here we have the door cards. So these are typical E36 door cards, and here we have also the cockpit tab. So as you can see, it's a sedan, so that's why we have the rear row also replicated with the fuel tank here, which is under the seat, and I guess that's how it was on the sports car, because the rear seat obviously was removed. And also here you can see various plates. And here from the opposite side we have some guiding elements, but that's pretty much all of the features you can expect here. But do not worry, we also continue with the rear bumper here, so maybe it's worth showing it like this. And it's also molded as a single piece part, just like the front one. And here we have the floor panel, which is molded as a single piece part. Here we have also the separate casing for the spare wheel. I guess it will be installed here. And from the opposite side you can see actually these guiding elements which are used in order to get the floor in the proper spot. I mean, the installation should not be difficult, but still check the overall alignment, because later you have to put the car body on the top. and this is something what will not work if the alignment is not done in the right way. Next we have another plastic bag, and here I'm just trying to understand what we have, because we have the rear wheel axle, here we have the front underframe, also we have the brakes which are molded together with the calipers, driver's seat, and also here we have the full exhaust system just molded as a single piece part, which is rather interesting solution, but I guess it will work. And to give you the closer look at the brakes, as you can see, these are simple parts, but again, be careful while painting the calipers, because maybe it's worth painting them first, then masking them and painting the brake rotor. Usually that's how I do it, because this way you get a bit better paint finish. And just as I said, we have the sports steering wheel. So this is something you will use in this version. We also have the dashboard here. We have also the safety cage separate sections, and we even have the racing mirrors. So in theory, you can also assemble the kind of civil version of this race car with the civil side view mirrors and also the civil steering wheel. But this will be already question, why would you do this? Maybe you want to replicate the tuning version, then it might make sense. And now I'm opening the plastic bag with car body, so just give me a second. Okay, so first of all we have the wheel rims. Those are typical BBS style rims, and I guess here we have the central lock, and overall it looks quite nice. We have the same width, I think, so it was quite typical for the 3 Series. And next we continue with the car body shell, so maybe here I will just zoom in. It's quite large, and we have all doors, bonnet, and the trunk pre-molded, so you won't be able to do much. But overall molding quality looks fine. I mean, the real car is not that rich on the features, so that's why you have the moldings here in place. You also have the handles in place. Handles are not as prominent as they could be, because on the real car they're a bit more pronounced. And here you can see also the front without the grille, but we have the lenses of the headlamps pre-molded, so you have to carefully mask it and paint it properly. Next we have the decals, which are packed into the separate plastic bag, so just give me a second. Okay, so here we have several decal sheets. First one is like this. As you can see here, we even get the decals for the tire walls, and we even have some numbers. So overall, it's rather straightforward thing. We have the P parts, and if you wonder where they will be used, I guess they will be used as the air vents on the rear wheel rims, but we will check the assembly manual in order to understand more. And next we have more decals, and I would say it's surprising that we have that many decal sheets, because here you can see another one, and we even have the seat belts here and some cockpit decals. Overall printing quality is as good as on the previous one. And then we continue with pre-cut masks. This is definitely a handy thing, because with this you will be able to get a nice paint work. And last but not the least is one more decal sheet here with FINA in different versions, and I wonder why it is supplied in different versions. I guess there will be some other markings maybe, so let's check it together. And from what I can see, it is only one marking. Here you can see the color printed, let's say, insert with the color profile for this vehicle. So as you can see, it's only one marking option, and that's really strange. But we continue with the assembly manual. But before this, I will show you the parts for the kidney grille and also the vinyl tires. So here is the parts for the grille. As you can see, they are typical chrome parts. You can use the black wash in order to accentuate the details, and it will be quite nice. I am trying to zoom in so that you can see more. Now you should be able to see them closer. Those are quite okay parts, so here I don't have anything to add. And one more is the vinyl tire, so obviously there are 4 of them. And as you can see, we have the details on the tire walls, so it should be quite okay for out-of-the-box build. And next, finally, is the assembly manual. So here we will zoom out a bit. Okay, so this is a black and white brochure, and then on the first pages we have some safety advices and also tips on how to assemble your model. We start work with the rear sub-assembly and also rear suspension, obviously. And then we have the exhaust pipe. Here we continue with the roll bar, front suspension, we have the dashboard assembly, and then we have here the attachment of the roll bar. And then we have the stickers application, so ESP parts were used for this rear wheel covers. And here you can see the final steps. These are mostly Clio parts, and also we install the bumpers in place as well. So as far as you can see, you install the body shell and then you install the front bumper. This way you will be able to join together the floor panel and the car body panel as well. So overall, the kit looks like a nice copy of the famous German car, and of course I will be happy to hear your opinion. So if you have something to say, write it here in the comment section below. And I will see you in the next video review as usual. Thank you for joining me today, and bye.